And then it clearly tells you that it's contrary to what we had back then. You know, the society has hugely transformed. So to shape up or to act up or to even be, not to act up, to shape up and to sort of meet the demands of the society and ensure that we also raise kids in a way that they're supposed to be raised, what can we do? We cannot just sit there, bury our heads in the sand and say that, you know, man needs to shape up, man needs to shape up. That is not the gospel that we'll be talking about with the changes that we witness today. That is why the women sort of are out here is trying to step up to the game to ensure that they give the children the best. Even dads who have no wives, sort of trying their level best to meet the needs of their child at that point of need, you know, whereby, of course, I step in as a mother and I equally step in as a dad. So how can we just play around this to balance the equation and ensure that indeed we have at least delivered, you know, children and citizens that are good enough?
A nation, a people who have lost their values are completely lost. They are
Certainly.
definitely lost. And it is
So no hope for us?
Yes?
No hope?
No.
Oops. Okay.
There is hope.
Because
Because that is why we are addressing it.
This.
Not just to highlight. No. We are not addressing it just to highlight. As we are saying, a father should go back to his place.
Yes.
We are reminding them that it is time now. They valued this precious young child. The aspects of a marriage should start being taken seriously. A marriage should not be like a car. When it gets damaged, you now replace your car with another one. We should have that in mind. And the concept of marriage, man and woman coming together, remember it has children in it.
Yeah.
Because after you marry, in every society, we are expected to reproduce.
Yeah.
But we must also address our value system. By the way, as a person, you need to reevaluate. This is the reason. If you are getting a child, you are supposed to value what is coming out of you because that is you. And I want to make it very clear. If you have noted, from generations past, a child is called by his father's name.
True.
He carries his father throughout generations. So it is not like I may have been named a generation, a father who was in 90th generation down there, or even 100th generation. So my name kept on coming up. So we must value what is coming, what is us, what is ours, what is coming from us. Number two, we must have regard for God. Because God is a source of a family. If you think about the life of a human being, you must appreciate God. You must put him in the picture so that when you honor God, he will help you. Because some of the things that we are facing today is because most of us ran away from God.
Right.
And because marriage is not a man's idea. In fact, when you look at the scriptures, marriage came from God. He looked at Adam and he said, it is not good for a man to be alone.
Yeah.
You get it? So it is not a man's idea. So we must also embrace the idea of God in a marriage. Number three, so we have addressed the value system.
Yes.
We have addressed the godly aspect, and that must be taken seriously by our men. Let's not ignore God in the picture.
Right.
Number three, we must also look. We must not value. There is this guy. I don't know if Steve Jobs. When he was dying, he was asked, "What would you have done differently?" He said, "If I had known, I would not have dedicated more time to my job. I would have dedicated more time to my family." And that is what we should also look at. We dedicate a lot of time, and that is why we have absent fathers. They are there, but they are absentee.
Yeah, well, is it because family and parenting in itself is such a hard task? Because you look at some of these stories and, sort of people coming out to give their testimonies. It has come to a point whereby even those people who are not able to have kids sort of look at it as a sigh of relief. Some people have opted not to even have kids. They think, this is just too much of a burden and I think I don't want to deal with it. So there's some level of happiness that is derived in having that gap, in just being away, in just being absent, and, probably bringing a nanny or somebody else to just take care of your kids.
I don't think so. What happens, there is no man who enjoys seeing his children not having not a good relationship, yes, or being far away. I don't think there is. Because, we are wired in a certain way that we love that connection, which is our own.
Okay.
It's like you have not done a mistake and then pinched yourself.
But love is one thing, and being there and training these kids in the right way is another.
Yes, that is what I'm coming to that, but I am saying we love it. But people must also come to the fact that the number one job, beside now being a presenter, a newscaster, beside being an accountant, besides being a coach, the number one job for me, it is being a father.
Right.
And that we must behold it with a lot of passion. Because let me tell you, today there is somebody who is seeing you there and he says, oh, what a difficult job.
Yeah.
But you embraced it because you had the right attitude. We must approach these things with the right attitude, because it is attitude that matters most. It is not what you are feeling or what you are seeing, because the work of a dad is not difficult. Yeah. Anything is as difficult as you see it. Like, yes, I always say, your point of view is determined by your viewpoint. So if you choose, but we want to encourage our men out there that parenting is not difficult.
Yeah.
Parenting, your parents brought you up. Yes.
They did.
So they had a very hard time, by the way, because they were raised. In fact, that should be an encouragement. Like when we were growing up, a home had more than 9 kids.
True.
And it was a difficult time, you remember? But they managed to raise us up. Today, we are having an absentee dad of
Only one child. It's pretty sad, yeah.
So I think we must approach it from the point of attitude. We must cultivate a very positive attitude, knowing that what you're producing from these kids is something so precious. Look at some of the figures. I like to highlight that some of the people we have ignored, our fathers have ignored, men out there have ignored, have become very important people in our society.
Right.
I was so surprised to note that most of the reporters, okay, you know that from statistics, they will report when they are ending their story.
Yes.
It is Mwangi wa Irimo.
Yes, you pride in this.
Because they are very important. They are informing the nation. They are shaping how we are thinking.
Yes.
They are shaping the discourse of the nation, but yet their fathers ran away. So we are losing. And let me tell you, they would have been so very much impactful if their fathers were present, because there are things a woman cannot do in a man.
Well, interesting times right there. At some point in time, maybe as winding up, there's this tweet that was sort of tweeted by one of my friends, and I was looking at that and how many men were so much excited at that tweet. So this lady says that why is it that we always complain that about deadbeats, yet we frustrate every effort of our men to be with their own kids. Okay, well, we could be having differences as the parents, but then again, why is it that we frustrate those efforts of our men to be present in the lives of our kids? Is it really the case today?
It so happens now we must open ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror and tell ourselves the truth, that today we are facing a different generation. a generation where a woman wants to be understood. And also the man wants to be understood. You know, in the past, it is only the man who needed their rights.
Yes.
A woman had no rights in the past. I think I'm
Sadly,
speaking the truth.
It is the truth, actually.
Now, there is the conflict side. These guys have hurt themselves so much. The other day I was in a conversation where I was talking about how the brains of a woman and a man are wired different. And it shapes how they think.
Right.
Now, it so happens when this woman has been so hurt because of the misunderstandings, and they started as minor, but they escalated.
Right.
She feels you no longer need to be part of this family. But let me tell you, women are doing it wrong because there is something as a woman, even if you have taken your child to Harvard, even if you have taken your child anywhere, you have given him the best of the best, there is something you cannot do. There is something
that the father should be there to do.
The father should be there to do. And that is why you are seeing a person, you find, I wanted to give a case, but I won't give
briefly,
it.
Because
I won't give it because of the sensitivity of it. But you find, like, let me refer to CNN.
Yes.
The cook, the chef who went all over the world. I can't remember his name. He committed suicide at once last year.
Right.
You had a case?
Yes.
I can't remember his name.
Same here.
But these guys, they are so successful. And
But
if you look at their stories, they are raised by single mothers. They are not taught to handle themselves as men. We have not been taught as men.
Mwanaume ni kujikaza.
Mwanaume ni kujikaza. Unapata kijana amekataliwa na msichana. Instead, anajiua.
Ama anaua msichana.
You see, it is because of lack of a father. A father will tell you, kijana kuwa kaa ngumu. That is how we are taught.
All right.
That is how we are wired. That is how a man raises his children. And therefore, a father is very important for the generation that he has fathered. And even for the posterity, he will remain important.
Well, thank you so much. I would have wanted to continue with this discussion. Time is not on our side. So in 30 seconds, what would be your last word to the society out there? The importance of the dad and most importantly, general parenting.
For me, I would like to say that, a father, you have been given a very unique opportunity. An opportunity to raise the generation that you have sired and the next generation. And therefore, you must take this responsibility with the utmost seriousness it deserves. You must take it with a lot of zeal and a lot of passion, knowing that you have been put in a very unique position. Embrace it. And to our women, I know you for the single women, you feel comfortable because now there is no conflict. But remember, your child needs a father. And you can never be the father. Let's not embrace these English or Western ideologies of always co-parenting. It is good when it doesn't work. But let's embrace conflict resolution, okay? So that we can stay with our children. And thereby, we are saving our generation. We are not just saving your kid, but we are saving a generation.
Wow. Need I add more? I mean, it's simple. You should leave not just for you, but for your very own kids, for the next generation.